Okay, today we on the pitch and putt here in Oliva. We have a 5-hole little course here with a practice area. We've got the putting green, chipping, pitching area, and of course in the bunker where we are today. We're going to talk about the sand shot, how to get out of the bunker. I always like to tell my students one of the most important parts of understanding how to play the bunker shot is to understand that we have to use the bounce of the golf club. Okay, so these golf clubs, the sand wedge is made specially that the leading edge is a little bit higher than the bottom part of the golf club, which we call the bounce. Okay, so this helps us to get the club gliding through the sand and not getting stuck with the leading edge into the sand. So if we understand how to use the bounce, it's pretty easy for us just to get this ball popping up out of the sand, okay, onto the green without a lot of effort. Okay. Now if I was looking at the golf club and I wanted to increase the bounce, I would open the club slightly and I'd put the club a little bit further down. That means the hands are going to be low. Now what I've done is I've increased the bounce on the golf club, which is going to help me get this club gliding nicely through the sand. Okay, so from the setup position, okay, I'm going to have my feet pretty much nicely wide apart. I'm going to open the golf club first, then I'm going to grip it. So we don't want to grip it and then open it. Okay, and I'm going to get my hands nicely down round about knee height. We don't want the club digging in. So the shaft is going to be a little bit pointing towards, you could say, the right knee or the right hip. Okay, so I've got my club down here. We don't want the club forward because that's going to then close the club again and the leading edge is going to come into play. Okay, so got a nice setup. Okay, I'm pretty low with my knees. Okay, so we can also see if I'm doing that, then I've got a very cupped wrist here. Okay, so this wrist is going to keep the club face open. Okay, so when I'm swinging into the backswing, it's going to be pretty much, okay, a steep backswing, maintaining my cupped wrist, okay, and that club face is now staying open. So we definitely don't want to change the club face going up, okay, if I'm moving that wrist into a flat wrist position, okay, it's going to close the club face and I'm going to have the club face closed again and digging in. So I really want to maintain that cupped wrist position, okay, and taking the club up pretty steep. Okay, the club is then going to come, when I'm in the downswing, the club is going to come in shallow again, and I'm going to let that club just glide over the sand. Okay, so we can also, if I'm hitting this bunker shot, okay, we can also see when the club is coming in, the club face is staying open. My cup wrist position is still in that position and I'm releasing the club up. So I'm releasing the club and that club face never closes. Okay, so what I see a lot of you guys is you've got to check. You've got a good position, maybe changing the wrist position here, and when you're coming in, you're closing the club face, you're creating a big hole. That ball's not going to come up. Okay, so I really want to maintain the wrist position. Okay, I'm maintaining that club open through impact. I'm releasing, but I'm maintaining it open. Okay, so question I get a lot is, ball position. Okay. Where do I put the ball in my stance? Now this can be very individual. There are different theories about it. A few of the guys like the weight on the front foot. Okay. Others like the weight more in the center. Okay, so if I'm doing my swing, I'm going to find where my club is bottoming out. So that for me, the club is pretty much bottoming or entering the sand in the middle of my stance. So if your weight's a little bit forward, that club is going to go a little bit more towards your left heel. Okay, then I'd like the ball to be round about maybe about an inch, 2 centimeters in front of where the low point of my swing is. Okay, because we really want to catch the sand 2 centimeters behind the ball, an inch, let the club glide through the sand, okay, and then that ball is going to pop up. So we're not going to hit the ball, we're going to hit the sand. Okay? Oh, let's try one. Okay? So getting nicely down, getting into that position. Okay, steep, shallow, and just releasing the club. So you can see the divot that I made is very shallow. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay, so get into a nice setup position, cupping the wrist, keeping the club open, and just popping the ball out. Okay, so I'm not swinging hard, I'm accelerating through impact. Okay, so we always say that a good bunker shot, you can hear that sound. That's what the bunker sounds like, the bunker shot sounds like. So you got to accelerate through. We talked about if you're striking a match. So you got to match underneath the ball, and you like to strike the match. Okay, so just getting that club gliding underneath the ball is just going to pop up. So it's really about understanding how to use the bounce, how to get that club entering the sand without getting stuck or the leading edge. Okay, so we talk about distance control. Distance control, I like to talk about different swings. Okay, so we can do, if I've got a shorter shot, I'm going to swing. Okay, I'm going to swing shorter. Okay, maybe just a third of a swing. Okay, and just getting that ball. If I got a longer shot, I can then do a half swing, a little bit more force. Okay, so that ball's gone a bit further. One of the most interesting shots that we have in golf really is a longer bunker shot. Okay, and again it's quite scary if there's water behind the hole. Okay, but this one we need to I open the club a little bit less now. Okay, swing a little bit harder, swing a little bit higher. Okay, and getting the ball going a little bit further. Okay, let's do that one again. Okay, that was actually quite good. That was next to the flag. You can also use a different club. You can, if you got a long bunker shot, you want to swing easy, maybe just take a pitching wedge, just open a little bit, and we have a better chance of hitting the longer bunker shot. Okay?